Well, once again, I was right. Oh, man. It's painful being right all the time, especially because I didn't follow my own advice. So I was talking to my man Dennis, and Dennis has the best portfolio ever. He's got, for simplicity, 500,000 a stable value, 500,000 in Wellington, and 500,000 in Roth and VTV. He's got more than that, but we'll just use that for an example. So he's living off his stable value fund while the markets are going up and down. Not trying to touch his Roth, trying to basically sell or get out of his traditional accounts. That way, when he gets Social Security, it'll be pretty much tax free. All right. So I'm talking to Dennis today, and he said Wellington was only down 14%. I was like, really? I said, I thought it'd be down more than that. I looked it up on Vanguard, and sure enough, he was right. I said, damn. And he goes, yeah, VTV was only down 2.2. It's like, no. Looked up, and sure as hell, he's right. VTV, the Vanguard Large Cap Value Fund, was only down 2.2%. I was like, well, hell's bells, dudes. I was telling everybody last year, go into dividend stocks out of growth stocks. I was saying it and saying it and saying it. My man Dennis took me up on it, and he was right. He hardly lost any money. I mean, he lost a little bit, but his stable value fund, we'll say, is 2%. That offset his VTV, which is only down 2.2, and then the Wellington's down. That sucks, but, you don't sell the Wellington one's down. Anyway, I was like, man. Then my man today on the live stream today, I did on my locals channel every Friday at 4 p.m. Sign up for locals down below the doobly-doo. Sign up for my email list. He said SCHD did well too. That's a Schwab dividend account. Yeah, it was only down 2.9. Dude, dividend stocks crushed last year relative to everything else. The dividend stocks, and I see this is what I'm saying, man. Cash and dividend stocks. Wellington, hey! Every time he hears me talking, he thinks like, "Hey, there's someone down there with Dad. He's cheating on Mom. I know he is." That's Finnegan. He's not good. But I was like, man. Anyway, so let's see. I want to see, and I don't know what VUG did. Let's take a look. So VUG is the other side of VTV. So if you take the S&P 500 and you essentially split it down the middle, it's not quite down the middle, but VTV is the value side. That means high dividend yields relative to the S&P 500, low price to earnings ratio relative to the S&P 500, low price to book ratio relative to the S&P 500. That was the genesis of the French FAMA three-factor. All right. Now they also threw in small cap value essentially. So basically small cap and value stocks essentially, if that makes sense. Now I think they've since moved on to 3 to 5 to 7 to an infinity factor. Now I don't know. And French FAMA with the DFA guys, dimensional fund advisors. Anyway, so you have the VTV on the left, you got VUG, that's the large cap growth stocks on the right. That'd be less dividend yield, higher price to earnings ratio, higher price to book, if that makes sense. Right. And and both these are large cap. I have no clue what VUG did last year, so let's take a look. I imagine it didn't do good. So far this year is down about 2% or so. And we're going to go, where is it? I thought there should be a performance thing here. I guess, yeah. Excuse me. Look at that, down 33%, man. I told you this. This is literally going back in time to the 1990s. This is look at that. 37, 40, 27, and down a third. Excuse me, Corona. Man, that's freaking nuts. You lost a third. All right, let's see what VTV's done so far. Oops. VTV. I mean, I know what VTV did, but I was going to prove it to you. It's crazy. There's VTV. Is that VTV? Yeah, right there. VTV. All right, let's go. Let's go! So this year so far, VTV is not doing anything. It's not down, but it's not up. Flat. Let's go to performance. Go to annual. Look at that, down 2%. Can you freaking believe that? 2%. I can't. I'm stunned by that, man. So the capital return was down 4.5. The income on dividends was 2.5. Thus, you take capital minus that, and you got a 2.5%, 2.05% rate of loss there. That's nuts. I mean, that's just fantastic. I was right. I was right. And of course, I sold my. I had 150,000 in VTV in my IRA, and I sold it. And I talked about this on the live stream in February of last year, and I put it into Wellington. It's a freaking idiot. Let's take a look what Wellington did. Just knucklehead. There's an old Kubo D song called Dumb Dick, because Dick was dumb. I feel like a dumb dick. Look up that song, actually. So Wellington last year, so far, is down about 40 basis points. Last year, Kumo D kicked ass. Yeah, down 14% last year is Wellington. And let's look at Wellesley. VW Winks. While we're doing that, let's look up Kumo D. Kumo D. Dumb Dick. Dick was dumb. Dumb Dick. So you got a song called Stupid. Yeah, Dumb Dick. I can't play it. Let me see. So there's Kumo. Let me show you. Kumo D. He did a song. Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? And then Kumo D did Wild Wild West, chicka chit. But I liked, he did Don't Be Stupid. How You Like Me Now? That was when he got a little bit, that was okay. I didn't like the Wild Wild West. I didn't like that so much. But the Kumo D album I liked the best was with the Do You Know What Time It Is? Anyway, so let's keep going. Wellesley was down probably 14%. I was going to say as well. 14%, I bet. That's my prediction. 9%. Okay. Anyway, so my man had, a third. He had, roughly, and stable value. Was again, that offset the small losses he had in value, and then he had Wellington. It's the perfect barbell. And he's like, I should do something in the summertime, and he didn't. Just gotta stay the course, man. I just wish I could follow why did I get out of VTV? I didn't think the bonds would do nearly as bad as they did last. Let's take a look at BND, actually. I don't know what that did. BND. Do you know what time it is? Girlies are something touching my body. They're talking to me like I'm a kindergarten. Today she's on mine, tomorrow she's on his, but you can save it for later because I know what time it is. Let's see. Performance annual. So BND was down 13%. Crazy. Look at that. Man, I don't know this for sure. 15% loss over 2 years. And you only got 2% in income, but you're down 15% in capital. You got 2% in income the year before, you're down 3.5%. I mean, you're just giving back these gains you've made there. That's all you've done. Anyway, the point being is, nothing even comes close since 2008. Let's look at Ginnie Mae. Let's look at Ginnie Mae. VFIIX. Let's look at old Ginnie Mae. Right there. I know what time it is. Ginnie Mae. Don't come around here and try to get rich, because baby, bet you don't know me from a can of paint. I bet you think I'm fronting, but I tell you I ain't. I can't remember how it goes. So Ginnie Mae was down 11% last year. So watch this. I don't know how far back they go, but Ginnie Mae has never been down in the 2 digits ever. And it's that. Look at that. 2 straight years. If you think bond market is going to tear up this year, I'm telling you, man, I cannot stress it. Like, I don't know. You do you, but when's the last time we had 2 consecutive down years in bonds? I mean, I don't. I'm going to go back to the Putnam Income Fund, which is the oldest bond fund that I'm aware of. I think Fidelity had one from 1970, and there's one other, but it was a different kind of. I can't remember exactly why I used a Putnam one. I forgot. I think maybe it was Federated or something like that. I can't remember. All right, so let's go back here, and we're going to see. Let's actually put this. And I'm using the Daniel Kulibert's 55e.co spreadsheets that you can buy from him for like 25, 35 bucks or something like that. So we're going to go to, not Franklin, Federated right there. Actually, let's just do this one right here. We'll do Federated. That goes back to, Federated goes back to 1969. This is all government bonds. Right here, 1980 and 1981, 3.6 and 1.7. I mean, it's not going to have any other 2-year down. Look at that. Going back to 19 friggin' 70, it's only had 2 down years consecutive, and the other 2 were in small single digits. All right, so here's the Putnam, and this is a little bit of a different one, but right here, same thing. So 1980, 1981, 1973, 74, down 2.4, 7.5. Then right here. That's freaking nuts, man. I just 1995, 94, right here, down 20% in 2022. I cannot believe that Ginnie Mae's down 2 straight years. Yeah, first year wasn't down much. Last year was down 10. We've just never seen this like this. What do you think the alternative? What do you think is going to happen this year? Crazy. So if we just look back at the rates, and again, we talked about this on the live stream, sign up for locals. You know, the 10-year treasuries fell 4% today because the economy numbers came in bad. We're in a recession now. The ISM manufacturing indexes, both the non-manufacturing and the manufacturing, are below 50. Unemployment numbers are quite poor, well below expectations for all this stuff. And you can see just a drop off on the 10-year treasury when the numbers came out right there. Just fell off like a brick in water. So the 10-year treasury at 3.569. The 13-week bond is at 4.5. So the inversion is, you're getting a point more, 100 basis points more for 13-week money than you are for 30-year money. That don't make sense. So the only way this makes sense is if the long-term interest rates go way high above the short-term rates. That's not going to happen, dudes. I mean, look, anything could happen. The actual alternative is what's going to happen is they're going to lower the short-term rates. The Fed controls the short. They don't control the long. Why is the long so low? Because people are freaking seeing this recession. They're buying up these bonds, keeping the rates low. On the long end, Fed controls short-term on the short term. When the Fed starts seeing this, they're going to stop raising, and then the bonds are going to take off even more, and then they're going to start lowering. 100% could be wrong. Hope not. Could be. But the evidence is so overwhelming that you have to say, yeah, that makes sense. Now, you got to do what you got to do, but man. All right. Love your thoughts. See you. Put them in the doobie-doo.